Hey everyone, Joe here. In this video, you're going to learn how to mix your acoustic DI'd guitar. So in last week's video, we learned how to record our guitar using DI. I'll leave a link in the description and on screen now if you haven't seen that. And this week, we're going to be learning how to mix it, which plugins to use. I'll show you a few different techniques you can use to get it sounding as realistic and natural as possible. As I said in the previous video, it can be tricky to get your acoustic guitar to sound natural when recording with DI rather than using a microphone. You lose the room acoustics, you lose some of the natural sounds of playing, but we're going to do what we can to alleviate that and get it sounding as natural as possible. So here we are in the session, just with our little sample of acoustic guitar that we recorded in the previous video. Let's take a listen first and just to hear what we're working with. So we've got the strumming, the chords at the beginning. And then I recorded a little bit of arpeggio as well. Let's turn those up. So it doesn't sound bad. I do quite like the sound that comes out of the DI on my Ibanez. It's not perfect to my ear. Like I said, it doesn't have that kind of natural ambience. It doesn't have the playing sounds, but we're going to try and make it sound as nice as possible. Get a nice room sound going in there, get some nice reverb. I'll leave a link in the description to a reference track, actually. That's some really nice DI acoustic sounds. It's a song by Natael Carno. A commenter recommended it in a previous video, so I was having a listen to that and it kind of inspired me, because often DI can sound a bit tinny, a bit fake. But it inspired me to show you how you can get the best sound possible out of DI acoustic guitar if you don't have a mic or anything like that. So there are three things we're going to focus on. Firstly, we're going to focus on the EQ. So we're going to be taking away some of that low end build up that you often get with DI guitar, and it's definitely apparent in this. I'm going to have a look at the top end and see if we can do anything. You get that kind of unnatural fizzy top end with a DI guitar. I find it is kind of bright, but not in a completely nice way. So I'm going to see if there's anything we can do with that. Then the second part, we're going to be looking at compression, especially on these arpeggio sections here. You've got some of the notes really in your ear. So I'm going to try and level those out a bit. And then thirdly, we're going to look at effects, namely reverb, try and get a nice natural room sound. I've got 3 different tracks set up for a plate, a room and a hall, so we'll try and get some different tones going and see what we can do. Obviously, I'm doing this in Pro Tools, but this applies to any DAW that you're using. First, we're going to start off just with a basic EQ, just the Pro Tools default EQ. And then let's just have a listen. So I want to roll off some of that low end right off the bat, right up to, see, you can tell where you're starting to lose some of the warmth, but I think around sort of, 80, 90, that's on this anyway. It's when we're losing that mud, but nothing of value. Bear in mind that I'm mixing this solo, so it's going to depend on what your guitar sounds like to begin with. It's also going to depend on what other tracks you're mixing it with. So this will give you a good starting point and some things to look out for, but it's not going to be, you're likely not going to be using these exact frequencies and so on. There's also a kind of low mid woofiness. Yeah, around there, sort of 170. It's only on a certain few notes though, when you've got those big chord strums. Let's have a listen again. Yeah, like there. So we could EQ it out, but then it's going to affect the whole thing, and we only really want it affecting where those really kind of big chords are happening. So what I'm going to do there is use some multi-band compression. Now, I know this is the EQ section of the video, but it's multi-band compression is sort of does half the job of EQ, half compression. So let's crack that out, and then just find, you got your EQ here. Let's find where that frequency is. Yeah, around there. So what we can do, we can compress that frequency when it gets a little bit too much. See? Let's A-B it. Yeah, so it's just taming that low mid, evening out a bit across the board. I want to look at the top end as well. Yeah, that's where that kind of brittle, plasticky high end comes into it. So I'm gonna roll off a bit at the top. We don't want it to start sounding dull though, so we've got to be careful. Where is it? Yeah, right at the top, at a 10K mark. Just bring that down a little bit. And we'll try and bring some of that brightness back. With 3K around, sorry, with about 3 or 4 dB around 6K. Brighten it back up again. And then let's get rid of some of that boxiness as well. Around 400 Hertz. Now, so that we can make a really good comparison between the before EQ and after, I'm going to change the output so we're not decreasing or increasing the volume at all. You can match the in and out. So we can compare the two fairly. Maybe not quite so much rolled off at the bottom. Okay, now let's take a look at compression. With an acoustic guitar, especially when it's on its own, compression can be very obvious. So I want to use a nice gentle compression. I do like the Waves R comp for this, but you don't specifically need third-party plugins at all. So I just want to catch those peaks. Quite a short ratio, small ratio. And then a release time that's not going to then compress the next strum as well. So quite a short release too. Yeah, it's just smoothing things out, but it's not obvious. Just for argument's sake, let's have a listen to what it would sound like with some much harsher compression on there. So you've got an example of the two. If we really put the ratio down, 4:1 compression, and yeah, very unnatural. So we're going to ditch that one. I want to have a listen to the arpeggio as well, because that's what really needed the compression. The compression, I think, should be a bit different on there, to be honest. So let's have a listen to them separately. Yeah, I've got to bring the threshold down to reach those peaks. Maybe go a bit harder. Now let's move on to the effects. So we're going to be adding some reverb, trying to get a natural room sound, because obviously being DI, it doesn't have any room sound at all, which doesn't sound natural. Let's see what we can do with a nice plate reverb. They're normally quite smooth, quite bright. And let's just go for a stock plugin to begin with. I just want to show you that you don't need the third-party plugins. They're nice, but you don't need them to get a good sound. So the Deverb, the Pro Tools built-in Deverb has a nice plate. And then we're sending that on an auxiliary bus to the plate bus. So let's grab that. Just put it up to 0 just so you can hear exactly what it's like. Obviously that's a bit too much, but the beauty of having it on the auxiliary bus is that you can just really easily dial it in and out. Bit of pre-delay, that natural kind of reflection sound. Yeah, nice medium length. Yeah, it's nice. We're going to try a realistic sort of small room sound. I've actually found a preset called for acoustic guitar DI. So let's hear what that sounds like. You never know with these presets if they're going to be if they're going to be nice or if they're just not going to make sense for what they're supposed to be put on. But let's have a listen. Okay, I'm not sure about that build-up. Maybe get a more smoother early reflections. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's cool. You can imagine a kind of singer-songwriter track maybe with some roomy vocals over the top. And the last one we're going to look at is going to be on the arpeggio guitar with a nice long haul, something more ethereal, like a prog rock track or something like that, or a roomy pop song. Let's take a listen to this default medium haul. Yeah, that's cool. With this DI guitar, I really want to focus on getting something that sounds quite natural to make up for the kind of clinical nature of it. So you want a bit of pre-delay in there. I'm going to dampen some of that low end because, again, I know we cut out a fair amount of it, but I don't want to start getting more low end, more of that kind of woofy low end building up with the reverb tail. And maybe we can put a bit of analog, of drive on there too. So you clearly can get a pretty good sound out of DI'd acoustic guitar, provided the pickup in your acoustic sounds good to begin with. It's going to be very difficult to fix that in the mix, so to speak, if you recorded a guitar that doesn't sound great to begin with. But yeah, it's something that I wouldn't opt for. I'd normally go for a mic'd recording for acoustic. But if you don't have the facilities, if your room doesn't sound great, then it's definitely an option, especially if the acoustic guitar track isn't front and center. Like if it's just a little kind of rhythmic piece, or just a little bit of lead in the background of a pop or rock song, then you're not going to need those kind of natural playing sounds anyway, and it might fit a bit better than for example a solo acoustic piece. There are some plugins out there designed specifically to make acoustic guitar sound natural if you've DI'd it. The Sound Machine Woodworks, I believe it's called, is one example, but you know, they cost money, so if you don't have the money to spend, you can do it with stock plugins. But if this is something that you do regularly, then it might be worth taking a look at those. And let me know in the comments section below, what did you think of the sound? Maybe let me know what your favourite reverb was, the room, the hall, or the plate. And if you want more recording and mixing tips and tutorials just like this, then hit the subscribe button below and the bell icon so you don't miss out. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.